Single dad gave a lift to a crying woman with a torn dress. She was the runaway bride of a millionaire. It was close to midnight when the rain began to fall. Not the gentle kind, but the kind that hits the windshield like pebbles. Jack Turner squinted through the wipers of his old pickup, the headlights slicing through the dark country road. He had just finished a late shift at the garage and was heading home to his sleeping little girl, Emma. Then he saw her. A woman, barefoot, standing on the roadside, drenched, shivering, her white dress torn and clinging to her. Mascara ran down her cheeks, her veil half hanging off her hair. She looked like something out of a broken fairy tale. Jack pulled over without thinking. "Hey, are you okay?" he called out, rolling down his window. She flinched at his voice, then whispered, "Please, can you just drive?" Her voice trembled, desperate, scared. Something in her eyes made him unlock the door. "Get in," he said softly. She climbed in, hugging herself. The smell of roses and rain filled the cab. For a few minutes, the only sound was the rain drumming on the roof. Jack finally asked, "You running from someone?" She hesitated, then laughed bitterly. "Yeah, my own wedding." Jack blinked. "Wait, wedding? I was supposed to marry Henry Vaughn," she said. "The millionaire. The one with the mansion on Hillcrest." He almost hit the brakes. "That Vaughn? The one on the news all the time." She nodded, tears welling again. "It wasn't love. It was a deal between families. I tried to tell my parents I couldn't do it, but they didn't listen. So I ran." Jack didn't know what to say. He wasn't the kind of man who believed in fairy tales. Not after losing his wife to cancer 3 years ago. Life, he'd learned, was about getting up, fixing what's broken, and doing right by the ones who depended on you. "Where you headed?" he asked quietly. "Anywhere but there." Jack smiled faintly. "Well, anywhere's a long drive. You hungry?" They stopped at a small roadside diner. She looked completely out of place. A woman in a soaked wedding gown sitting across from a grease-stained mechanic. But for the first time that night, she laughed. A real laugh. He poured her coffee, handed her his jacket, and said, "You know, life's funny. Sometimes the road we didn't plan ends up being the one we were meant to take." She looked at him, really looked, and saw not pity, but understanding. When the waitress brought out 2 slices of pie on the house, she whispered, "Thank you for stopping. I didn't think anyone would." Jack shrugged. "You'd be surprised how many people still do the right thing." Hours passed. She told him her name was Claire. He told her about Emma, his daughter who loved bedtime stories and trucks. By the time dawn crept over the horizon, they were sitting outside his small, warm house. "You can stay here for the night," he said. "My daughter's at her grandma's. You'll be safe till you figure things out." Claire's eyes softened. "You trust too easily," Jack smiled. "Or maybe I just believe people deserve a second chance." The next morning, Emma came running into the kitchen, giggling when she saw Claire in one of her dad's old shirts. "Daddy, is she a princess?" Claire knelt, smiling through tears. "Something like that." Days turned into weeks. Claire found work at the local flower shop. She kept her past quiet, and Jack never asked. But something unspoken grew between them. Small moments, shared laughter. The kind that makes you forget what loneliness feels like. Then one afternoon, a black car pulled up outside. Henry Vaughn himself stepped out, the news cameras not far behind. Claire froze at the window. "Claire," Henry's voice boomed. "Come home. I'll forgive everything." Jack stepped out before. The cameras caught it all. Jack standing tall in front of his small house, grease-stained shirt, hands steady, eyes burning with quiet conviction. Henry Vaughn smirked, stepping closer. "Do you have any idea who I am?" Jack didn't flinch. "Yeah, you're the man she ran from." For a second, there was silence, just the hum of cameras, the wind through the trees, and the sound of Claire's heart pounding. Henry's voice dropped. "She belongs in my world, not this." He waved dismissively at the cracked driveway, the old truck, the laundry line swaying in the yard. Claire stepped forward, shaking. "Henry, I don't want your world anymore. I want peace. I want real." Her eyes flicked toward Jack, soft and certain. "And I found that here." Henry's jaw tightened. But the cameras were still rolling, and for the first time, his charm didn't work. He turned away, muttering something to his driver before the black car peeled off down the dirt road. The silence that followed was heavy, but peaceful. Claire exhaled a trembling breath. "I can't believe I just did that." Jack smiled faintly. "Guess it's your turn to fix what's broken." She laughed, through tears this time. "You and your fixing metaphors. Occupational hazard," he said, wiping his hands on a rag. "You stayin'?" She looked up at him, sunlight spilling over her face. "If you'll have me." Jack nodded. "Yeah, I think Emma could use a princess around here." Over time, what began as an act of kindness turned into something neither of them expected. Claire helped Emma with her school projects, filled the house with flowers from the shop, and started smiling again. Jack found himself laughing at things he hadn't laughed at in years. And sometimes, when the evening sun hit just right, they'd sit on the porch, Emma between them, watching the world quiet down. No mansion, no millions, just peace, love, and second chances. One evening, months later, Claire handed Jack a small card, an invitation embossed in gold. "It's for Henry's new wedding," she said. Jack raised an eyebrow. "You going?" She smiled, slipping her hand into his. "I already did." And as the porch light flickered on and Emma's laughter echoed from inside, Jack realized something profound, that sometimes the roads we least expect lead us home.